Welcome to today's movie. In today's movie we'll take some time series data, but this time we want to model that time series data using double exponential smoothing, and this is Brown's method. And in this particular movie we'll use Excel. In another different movie we'll be using SPSS. So this is example 11.8 from the textbook. So if we go to the Excel solution, you can see basically we've got everything set up that we need. This data is the same data that we used for the two simple single exponential smoothing movies, one using Excel, one using SPSS, and it's to do with the UK birth rate per 1,000 people from 1960, 1961, 1962 to the year 2018. So we're given the data from 1960. So in 1960, the UK birth rate was 17.5 per 1,000 people. In 1961, it was 17.9 per 1,000 people. And the last year that we're given the data is for 2018, where we had 11 UK births per 1,000 people. And what we'll do shortly is we'll use the double exponential smoothing model. We'll take that and we'll use it to forecast values, both in terms of the time points that were given from 1960 to 2018. So we'll fit the forecast model to that data, but we'll also use it to actually provide a forecast for time points 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 and 2023. Okay, so what we have the equations here. So there's our single exponential smoothing model. There's the double exponential smoothing model. And there's the forecast equations that we'll be using shortly. Okay, so our data for the year is in cell A4 to A62. We've created a time point called period. So 1960 is time point 1, 1961 is time point 2. Our series values, as you can see there, in cells C4 to C62. Okay, so what we can do now is we can do the single exponential smoothing, which is SES column. We've got a column there for the double exponential smoothing, so there's the single one, so we use that equation. There's a double one, so we use that equation. Then we calculate A subscript T in that column. Then we calculate B subscript T in that column. And then in the final column is the forecast using this equation here. Okay. So we've also, because these equations depend upon the smoothing constant called alpha, we have alpha in cell G2. And then what we've done is we've also calculated the mean square error in cell G1 and the corresponding root mean square error in cell I1. So you can see that the relationship between the root mean square error and the mean square error is that the root mean square error is just the square root of that number. Okay, so they're my two error measurements. Okay, ideally I only need one, but SPSS gives you the RMSE, but not MSE. Okay, so I've provided that as well. Okay, so now we've decided on an alpha value of 0.05, and obviously that will give you a solution. And what we'll want to do is later on is to minimize the error term, MSE, mean square error term, where you change the value of alpha. Okay, and then when you do SPSS, SPSS automatically does that. Okay, so let's get started, shall we then? So at time point 1, right, the simple single exponential smoothing value is equal to 17.5. So if you look at this equation here, you can see S subscript 1 dash equals, and you've got this term at the end here, which is S t minus 1. Now, if t is equal to 1, this is S subscript 0 dash. That means you need an initial value for this term here, and different software solutions and different books will give you different ideas in terms of what the initial value should be there, but also in that term there. So what we do is the initial values we use for the simple single exponential smoothing value, which is in cell D4, is just equal to the data value for that time point. And exactly the same for the double exponential smoothing initial value. This term here, remember, t is equal to 1, so t minus 1 is 0. So this is s subscript 0 double dash, which is the initial value for the double exponential smoothing. So in that cell there, in cell E4, it's just equal to C4. Okay. Now, in the next time point 2, you can see that this is where we use this equation, because s subscript 2 equals alpha y2 plus 1 minus alpha all times by s subscript 2 minus 1, which is 1. Yeah. So, and you can see there, therefore, that in this equation, we've got alpha, which is in cell G2, plus times C5, and C5 is Y2, which is that value there, plus 1 minus alpha times D4. Well, D4 is the smoothing constant value in the previous time point, which is time point 1. Okay, so that's the equation there. And what we can do now is we can now calculate all these values as well based upon this. But the secret is to realize if you copy this down, you need to make sure that the reference for alpha, which is in G2, is fixed. And we do that by using the $G, $2 there, and the same there. Okay, so if you copy that formula down now, and we copy it all the way down to the last data series time point we have, which is in time point 2018. Let go. So those are the values, and I fixed them to 2 decimal places, but if you wanted to, you could add more decimal places in, etc. Okay, now let's look at the double exponential smoothing. It's exactly the same method. So in time point 2, the initial value, which is in time point 1, which is cell E4, is just the same as the series value, so that's equal to C4. So in time point 2, look there, time point 2, right? So we use this equation. So if you look at this equation, it tells you it's alpha times the simple smoothing value at that time point, which is D5, which is that number there, plus 1 minus alpha, look, 1 minus alpha times the smoothing value for the previous time point where it's a double smoothing value. So you can see that is in cell E4. And then again, you make sure that the reference for alpha is fixed. So we use $G, $2, $G, $2. And then because of that, we can then copy this down. Okay, to the last time point where we have a series value provided, which is 2018. Let go. And again, we can then make these a little bit bigger if you want more decimal places, etc. Okay, so we can see that the simple exponential smoothing gives you these numbers. And then the double exponential smoothing gives you these numbers. Okay, now what we can do now is we can now decide what would the model give us, what would double exponential smoothing give us as a fit to the actual data series that we're given, and then also use that to provide forecasts into the future using these equations here. Okay, so what we need is we need to know what A subscript T is, and we need to know what B subscript T is. So A subscript T is in column F, B subscript T is in column G. So you can see here, look, that AT is just 2 times the single smoothing at that time point minus the double smoothing value at that time point. So you can see here, look, it's 2 times D4, so it's 2 times that minus that to give us that. BT is this, so it's alpha divided by 1 minus alpha, all multiplied by the single smoothing value at that time point minus the double smoothing value at that time point. And if you substitute the numbers in, you can see you get 0. Okay? Because those two numbers are the same. So that difference is the same. And then down below, you can see that what we've done is, we can see then it's, the next one is just 2 times D5 minus E5. So in reality, you can just copy those values down. There we are. And if you wanted to increase the number of decimal places, you can. Then what about BT? Well, BT is the same. Look, you can copy down, but just make sure that the alpha there and the alpha there are fixed using $G, $2, $G, $2. And then you can just copy the formulas down. Oops, sorry. 1 second, I made a mistake. So you just copy the formulas down. There we are. Okay, and you copy the formulas down to the last data values. So if I just come, okay, right, and then once you've done that, you can then give yourself a forecast, or you can fit this double exponential smoothing model to your data to tell you what the model would predict at each of these time points, including the future, which we'll come to in a minute. Okay, so now the first forecast, just like for simple or single exponential smoothing, is that you use the model to forecast into the future. So you can see here, look, there's the forecast equation. So M is 1, so ft plus 1 equals the value of A for the previous time point plus the value of B for the previous time point, then times 1. So all you need to do is, you just need to slot in there for time point 2 the fact that it is F4 plus G4, and then once you've done that, then all you need to do now is to copy that down to there. Okay, so these are the forecasts. So the double seasonal exponential smoothing method gives you the first forecast fit at time point 2, which is 17.5. Time point 3 is 17.54. And at time point 59, which is year 2018, then the forecast value is 11.52. So now please note, then you can then forecast into the future. Okay, so in this particular case, we want the value of A at the previous time point, which is that, plus that, and then times M, where M is equal to 1, etc. Then M equal to 2, then M equal to 3, then M equal to 4, M equal to 5. But the values of A and T have to be fixed. So that's why we got $F, $62 for AT, plus $G, $62 for BT, which references those two numbers there. But notice that the value of M changes, and it's based upon these numbers here. Okay, so they're the forecast, true forecast values into the future. For time point 29, the model predicts 11.4 births per 1,000. For 2021, it would predict 11.33, etc. Now, that is one solution based upon alpha is 0.05, and the mean square error is just over 2, as you can see on the screen. Now, what you can do is you can use Excel Solver to actually minimize this value based on changing this. And if you do that, you find your solutions change slightly. So alpha becomes 0.85 approximately. The mean square error is about 0.11. The root mean square error is 0.34 to 2 decimal places. There's your solver equation. But what you'll see is, if you come down, you'll see that in 2019, the forecast would now be 10.62. In 2023, it'd be 9.08. Okay, so in the next movie, what we'll do is we'll repeat this using SPSS, but SPSS will give you the optimized solution. So what it does is it gives you the minimized value of MSE, and it tells you what alpha is, and it gives you the forecasts, the predicted values, etc. So it gives you these numbers plus these numbers. Okay, so that's it for today. Take care.